Hi there. Welcome to my series going over every piece of music in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Land ho! After a fever dream of a cruise across the ocean involving a moonwalking anthropomorphic dog, jazz suites, and the calamitous return of the big alien lady, we finally arrived in Costa del Sol. The water is warm. I hope you brought your bathing suits because it's time to dive in. Chapter 6 starts with an immediate taste of what's to come musically. Before we've even set foot on the shore, we can hear the coastal congas, maracas, ukuleles, and a couple classic instruments often used in samba music, which I never used to know the name of until today. The first up is that multi-pitch whistle sound, or as I like to call it, the whistle from the intro to Final Fantasy IV's Samba de Chocobo. Turns out it's simply called a samba whistle, and if you look at it, you can see how they're able to get a few pitches out of it. Pretty cool. The other is the low register equivalent of that whistle sound, which sounds a bit like a monkey laughing or something. Or as I like to call it, that cool sound from Final Fantasy IX's Black Mage Village. Well, turns out that's a Brazilian instrument called a cuica, and it is awesome. It's roughly the same concept as pulling a straw through a cup, but with a much richer tone. I've heard that sound in so many different songs over the years and always wondered what it was. Like in the beginning of Stevie Wonder's Stop! The Game Awards are in a couple weeks, and that seems like a pretty good spot to announce Remake Part 3. If they do, I don't want to be caught analyzing background instruments less than halfway through Rebirth. I need to stay focused. I told myself I would get through Chapter 6 in 2 episodes. Okay, we can do this. Anyhow, the first half of the piece remains pretty light and fun, thematically well arranged, but nothing too unexpected. Aerith mentioning Costa del Sol by name, however, cues up a much more lavishly produced second half. Much bigger drums, horns, and even strings punctuate the shift. By the time Mayor Kupocon has arrived to greet us, we've moved to a new key. A chunky tenor saxophone hammers the bass line while a marimba plays our new lead melody. Man, the instrumentation in this track really creeps up on you. What starts as a fairly faithful Latin-inspired busking band quickly morphs into a full orchestra and then some. Over-delivering on what should be a fairly forgettable one-off track? Yep, all the telltale signs of another Shotaro Shima arrangement. This is technically a diegetic piece, since not only can you see musicians serenading you throughout the cutscene, but also following the cutscene, at a few points in town, you can see different busking bands serenading you with the opening pre-orchestra section of this track. I've discussed a couple other diegetic bands in Rebirth that seem to be missing a musician or two compared to what's being heard, but I think these Costa del Sol buskers take the cake. This does not sound like 4 musicians. Square Enix, you are creating unrealistic expectations of what buskers can sound like. Anyhow, we move to one last new bridge section, which beautifully leads us into Chapter 6's next piece of music. Yeah, that's a nice lead-in. Here we are now with a very faithful Shima-style HD arrangement of another classic FF7 piece. Same key and roughly same BPM too as the original. As expected, he's added some extra gloss in the shape of some swanky violin legatos and horns, as well as some chimes for punctuation. Costa del Sol is a classy place after all. In Uematsu's 1997 original, the lead instrument is a xylophone or marimba-coated synth sound. However, those can sometimes be fairly delicate sounding, not quite punchy enough if you're dealing with a full arrangement like this one. Maybe for that reason, Shima has doubled the marimba with a piano to help the melody stand out. The original's beautiful counter melody is faithfully replicated on a flute, with a fun new rhythmic staccato trumpet line underneath it. Might be a piano in there too. Very lovely. This is the point in the original version where the track loops, but instead of doing that, Shima gives us a more instrumentally varied second verse, including some cheery pizzicato strings and a very fitting trumpet and flute combo sharing the lead melody. Nice new cello counter melody during the penultimate passage, too. These Shima mixes are always so rich. There are many things to see and hear in Costa del Sol, but our first stop is at the upstairs patio of Bar del Sol, where we can hear a slightly depressed-looking ukulelist, is that a word? Serenading the patrons. It's a short, half-minute loop. Nothing special, but please give this overworked lad a raise for actually sounding like one ukulele player and not a full 24-piece band masquerading as a quartet. This is the most honest musician in all of Rebirth. We're going to keep the diegetic train rolling a bit longer as we come across Yuffie having an ice cream in front of a Mr. Monster Burger food truck. Before speaking with her, you can overhear her humming a familiar tune. While characters humming the victory fanfare isn't anything new, I think this is our first instance of a character theme used in-world as a diegetic track. I mean, sure, if you consider Rufus's welcoming ceremony as Rufus's theme, then that one precedes it. But otherwise, yeah, that's kinda cool. I realize I am probably not supposed to overthink it too much, but too late. What if the character themes are actually in-world pieces of music that the characters happen to like, and then sort of claim them as being their song? It's like when I hear Thriller at the grocery store, and I yell out, "Hey, that's my song." It might actually be called Thriller, but that right there, that's Patrick's theme. You know what I'm saying? Or like baseball batters having a set song that always play when they walk up to the plate. Maybe Yuffie's theme is just some pre-existing Wu-Tai-In banger that she uses to hype herself up. No? Anyway, I gotta keep moving because there are actually 3 diegetic character themes in this chapter alone. That cruise ship ended up being a whole lot less relaxing than anyone could have predicted, so it's time to find a hotel. Except, they're all filled up since you didn't have the foresight to book a reservation. Alas, here comes Johnny to save the day. Following the syncopated drum intro, we move into a very funky rendition of the FF7 Remake track, Johnny's Theme, originally written by Yoshinori Nakamura. But this time we've got trumpets, a funky wah guitar, and some steel pan drums playing the lead melody. Pretty fun mix. We also have my new favorite instrument, the cuica, played through an echo effect at the end of every few bars. A little further, we get all sorts of new percussive instruments you would find in a samba drum band. The funkier groove gives the piece the illusion of an accelerated tempo. After the cutscene ends, Johnny escorts us to his, I am sure, fantastic inn. If you follow him immediately, the track will fade out before you hear the whole mix, which would be a shame because it just gets better. Following the 12-bar blues, we move to a completely unique piano solo salsa interlude. Too dissimilar to the salsa breakdown during the unused second half of the Chapter 5 Queen's Blood victory fanfare. Does that mean it's the same arranger as Fantastic Fair? I don't know, but if it were up to me, I would start putting salsa breakdowns in the back half of tracks most players are likely to miss or skip, like some sort of unhinged composer calling card. Any guesses as to who the arranger is? Just like with the first track of the episode, I think this is Shotaro Shima again. Shima's rhythmic percussion lines are always so mesmerizing, regardless of the instrumentation. So that's my guess. When in doubt, always bet on Shima. Squeezing your way into the alleyway causes our arrangement of Johnny's theme to fade out, paving the way for our next version of Johnny's theme. Here we are with a SpongeBob by way of tropical hangover new arrangement of Johnny's theme. I really appreciate how simple this arrangement is. We've got an organ, some jazzy brushed snares and kick, and a dopey octave hopping bass line. A washed out electric guitar plays Johnny's melody. And that's it. It's such a stripped back arrangement that perfectly captures the rundown state of Johnny's latest venture. The contrast of Johnny's massively produced preceding track, where he is hyping up his Seaside Inn, followed by the realization of what his rundown alleyway shack actually looks like, is perfect musical and visual juxtaposition. This is only Shingo Kataoka's second known arrangement in Rebirth, following his work on the Moghouse track back in Chapter 2. His off-kilter arrangements are always so evocative and refreshing. Rebirth is rammed with project files that would make good work of your mouse's scroll wheel just to sift through all the instrumentation tracks, so it's nice to come across something so simple and clean once in a while. This piece tells you so much about Johnny's Seaside Inn and what our characters think of the place. After Johnny gives us a tour, we hear his ringtone chirp up to the tune of Wait, do you think that's a pager? We don't see Johnny pick up the phone, and that's a pretty primordial 8-bit sounding ringtone, especially for a hip young man like Johnny. Cell phone or pager? Let me know what you think. Following that, the party splits up. Cloud decides it's time to track down his black-robed ex-colleagues. As Cloud hits the streets, we discover that the Costa del Amor event has just begun. New strings and flutes begin to rise as an electric piano and rhythmic triangles set the scene. Our big samba drum group inspired percussion begins to build and build, making way for my favorite track in all of Chapter 6. Fool's Paradise, Amor, Fun in the Sun is the infinitely danceable arrangement of Uematsu's Costa del Sol that you never knew you needed until right now. As expected, there's a lot going on in the mix, but it's all quite clean and clear. Instrumentally, it's not too different from the back half of this chapter's opening track, although there is a more of everything. The massive 4-to-the-floor kick drum definitely ramps up the party atmosphere throughout. The first verse has trumpets playing the lead melody with the occasional flute accent at the end of a line. Underneath the melody is a sea of rhythmic counterharmonies, such as a relentless group of saxophones and a marimba playing a classic salsa line. Next, the mix eases off the gas a bit. The heavy kick is gone, as is the trumpet lead, now replaced by a thinner accordion. Then the melody repeats, though this time we return to the bigger trumpet-led arrangement with some beautiful new response lines coming from the sax. We can breathe again with the bigger mix making space for the salsa marimba and a funky, very stereoscopic electric piano complementing the rhythm section. Steel pan drums get their turn playing the lead melody. Just such a great variety of instruments. The next build-up is just huge. I assume the majority of these instruments are virtual, but man, it sounds like an absolutely massive band playing it. Like the sonic range we've heard, going from Kataoka's creaky shack theme to now this stadium-sized dance track is really impressive. I think this Rebirth soundtrack is onto something. The new melody over the crescendo is beautiful with some very Shima-esque flute trills and flutters. As the cutscene ends and gameplay resumes, we get a nice little nod to the FF7 main theme on the accordion. And then the piece loops. Nice, extremely good stuff right here. This is up there with Chadley's theme in terms of Rebirth tracks that really opened my ears to Shotaro Shima's range. I would love to hear a game with him as the lead composer and arranger, sort of like how the Octopath Traveler series is Yasunori Nishiki's baby. Better yet, put Shima as the lead composer on FF18, or wherever we are once this is all done. Trust me, the man has the juice. Anyhow, Cloud finds out the black-robed men have all flocked to the beach. Unfortunately, Cloud's ex-soldier outfit does not meet the dress code, so he needs to wander around town, participating in Costa del Amor events so that he can amass tickets which can in turn be exchanged for God's greatest gift to humanity, bathing suits. His first activity brings Cloud, and Barrett in tow, to a pirate-themed shooting gallery. The accompanying music sounds pretty much just like what you would expect. We've covered Shoya Tsunakawa before as the Zangan guy and the Dolphin guy, and here he is again with another idea that sounds nothing like his prior tracks. This is a very suitably Yar Pirates inspired track, which logically also sounds a lot like Yoshinori Nakamura's Chapter 4 track for the Junon region. Admittedly, both tracks are mostly just riffing off Pirates of the Caribbean, but narratively the connection between this pirate ship minigame and Junon's naval past makes a lot of sense to me. While I didn't hear any explicit melodic overlap between the two pieces, both tracks have similar instrumentations and similar rhythmic strings patterns throughout, both in 6/8. The minigame track is noticeably faster and more upbeat, giving it an appropriately more approachable and playful feel, sort of like a Disneyfication of Junon's real history. You can also participate in some Queen's Blood minigames with Regina, although doing so won't provide you with any new music. It just plays the known Queen's Blood tracks. You do, however, get a second Costa Del Amor ticket, so that both you and Barrett can have matching bathing suits. What's that? Barrett doesn't get a bathing suit? Really? He wears his sailor outfit that is even less revealing than his regular attire? But everyone else gets a bathing suit? Wait, the others get multiple bathing suits? Hamaguchi, why? Yeah, maybe I will need one of those steam machines so that I can mod in something suitable for Midgar and Corel's most beautiful muscle man. Anyway, once one of you gets changed, it's time to hit the beach. We open on a familiar 4-note pattern. Do you remember this one? This is the same little melody that opened Chapter 4 of Rebirth. But the melody predates that still, having first shown up in Yoshinori Nakamura's Mako Poisoning all the way back in Chapter 3 of Remake. This is the melody's third appearance, at least. I mean, there might be more in Remake that I'm forgetting about right now. Since each of these scenes involve the Black Robes, I think we can tentatively label this 4-note passage the Black Robes leitmotif. Seeing as these folks are intrinsically tied to Genova, it's also worth pointing out all 3 permutations of this melody are accompanied by low bass synths. Next, a woodwind and a harp briefly come in, before being replaced by a Shinra-coded ascending melody. Interestingly, the melody resolves prematurely and somewhat optimistically, thanks to Barrett intervening in what could have become a messier conflict. The scene then moves to Aerith and Red 13 back at Johnny's Inn. You could argue this scene change marks the start of a second piece of music, but I'm going to follow the lead of the PC version's audio files, which treats the music to both scenes as one and the same piece. We open on a piano playing a fragmented chord before moving on to Aerith's theme. Keep a close ear out for all the soft and delicate textures throughout this piece. Sometimes it's just a synth pad under the piano, but then also as a tuned metal counter melody. When Aerith is silent for a bit too long, Red is struck by pangs of fear and anxiety, which causes the music to shift to a synth-led rendition of anxiety. Notice again the subtle work of the synth textures. As Red mentions the Lifestream, we start hearing a couple passing synth trails. It sounds like voices in the Lifestream, or the Lifestream itself. It also has a slightly whispery quality to it. Whispery, you say? On cue, as Aerith mentions the whispers, the piano plays a fragmented version of their theme, as the warbly synth trails continue. Following the serious conversation, Red tries to cheer her up as the music returns to the warmer tones and resolution of Aerith's theme. Interesting piece, and a good one to end on. Okay, we are moving. Unless I've really miscalculated things, the next episode should conclude Chapter 6. Yes, already. I know, we've been having such a great time. And speaking of having a great time, a couple weekends ago I went to Kupocon in Quebec. If you're not familiar with it, it's a fan-run event celebrating all things in the world of Final Fantasy. It has such a warmer and more intimate feeling than any convention I've been to. I've been following Kupocon since the beginning, but this was only my second time attending. I had a great time and got to see so many damn fantastic cosplays. I also picked up all sorts of awesome fan merch, which I'll share with you at the end of the video. The next Kupocon is their 10th anniversary, and it's happening in Glasgow. That's a bit far for me, but I might try to attend the one in Vancouver in a year's time. Also, huge shout out to Jordan, who came up from Austin, Texas for Kupocon, and who recognized my face from this channel. I didn't think that would happen. Pleasure hanging out with you, Jordan. I hope I didn't ask you too many questions about Final Fantasy XIV. Lastly, thanks in part to my recent video on Bloodborne: The Old Hunters. Did you watch it yet? My YouTube channel has hit 5,000 subscribers. Yay! Many thanks to everyone for your ongoing support here and especially on Patreon, which has allowed me to continue to put as much time as possible into this channel. Every new patron makes a massive difference on the livelihood of the channel, so definitely give that a thought if it resonates with you. Okay, stick around if you want to see some of my merch. If not, catch you in part 27. Take care. Bye. So yeah, I had a really good time at Kupocon. They give you this like passport when you arrive, and it's full of like little activities you can do. And it's basically all just, I guess it's just icebreakers to chat with other people there and spark up conversations. Like, it really does feel like a community first event, and they really knock it out of the park. Stuff like they've got hidden like Moogle plushies hidden around the event, and try to get photographs of all those. And then those you do these quests, and then you get stamps, which then give you this like Kupocon currency, which you can trade for their own official merch. Well, no, sorry, it's all unofficial. If you didn't know, it's all mega fan run. But then that can be traded for their own merch. What did I get? So I didn't do all the activities. There's just so much to do. I fell behind on some of the stuff, but I did get this nice unit print.
And Hetty Burris was there. That was one of their guests, along with Zach, Caleb Pierce. Is that it? Seeing Hetty was a real trip because it's just like, it's her voice. It's just Yuna. So that was incredible. Anyways, I want to show you the merch that I bought. The corner there, you got these amazing, so specific Tifa and Aerith from not just Ever Crisis, but that like brief high school event. Like very cool fan art of them in those outfits. I couldn't believe. But here, the whole artist alley, it's nothing but FF. So it's just like it's a dream artist alley. That's not true. It's not just FF. They do sell some other stuff, and I did get some. Like for my daughter, I got this Korok pin. And I also got some more topical stuff. I'm playing Silksong lately. Kind of oscillate between thinking it's the greatest game of all time and hating it, absolutely hating it. So it depends on the day, depends on the coin toss. I also got a keychain of the greatest boy that ever lived. Oh, I got distracted. Anyways, the person who did those two, they also did, I got this nice little sticker, Cloud, from her. Pretty sweet. There was a matching Sephiroth one. This is from the the Materia Guardian fight, where they're really looking at each other. But I only got the Cloud because I'm trying to build up a Cloud collection. For someone else, I got completed the set of Cloud and his 3 remake dresses. Come on, so good. This person, I really should have written down the names of everyone, but that person had, if it's the one I think it was. Pretty sure it was. They had the deepest of cuts with their stickers. They had so many. They had like a good handful of people from Chrono Cross. Trigger, actually I bought. Speaking of Trigger, got Frog. They had Xenogears. They had Lunar. They had Legend of Dragoon. Like the most like niche stickers ever. Like they know their clientele. They know the weirdos who are coming to these kind of events that would recognize Dart from Legend of Dragoon. Oh, I forgot actually. I forgot to say that those 2 prints. Let it be known that the artist had like a buy 2 get 1 free. So I got a 3rd print as well, though. Still trying to figure out if I can get away with putting this one up in my house. I got a really nice FF14 print. That was nice, sort of as like the symbolic gesture of like, I want to get back into 14. I got these cute FF, and this from the same artist. I got these really cute FF15 cards. Got the 4 lads being tucked into a egg breakfast thing. It was very creative, very creative. This one person had these amazing FF9 watercolors that they made. They had watercolors for a lot of games, but the 9 ones were just too good. I got 3 little ones. Just beautiful work, beautiful work. Of course, I was scanning everywhere for Chadley merch, and I found one person had made these amazing pins of like 20-30 characters per game, which meant that they could go deep on the niche stuff. So there was a Chadley pin. So I proudly wore my Chadley pin when I was there. Oh, and then I got this really nice, it's already on the wall, so I'll just put it here, this amazing kind of Klimt inspired shot of Cloud and Sephiroth. Was not aware of the amount of shipping that was done for those 2. I guess it makes sense. I got some other cute stickers. I got Country Bumpkin Tifa. Everyone loves Vivi. How could you not get Fishing Noctis? Plain Jane Cloud, to go with my other ones. Had a great time. I really would recommend it. I didn't think I'd put a little vlog style. Is it a vlog if you're just sitting on your couch reminiscing? Maybe not. But this vlog-esque look back at this very fun event that I strongly recommend. Seal of approval right here. Okay, that's it. Take care. Bye.